Tonight on CTV, CSU students take to the streets to fight for climate justice.
Travel cancellations are nothing new, but they're now affecting movement on both the ground and the sky.
Then, what clothes you should expect to put away as the fall season is upon us.
And see how CSU and the Fort Collins community have been celebrating during this past homecoming weekend. All this and more on CTV 11 starting now. Good evening, Rams. I'm Natalie Devereaux filling in for Robbie Patla.
And I'm Ren Wadsworth. Students at Colorado State University took to the streets on October 8th as a part of the climate strike. Our reporter Morgan Gardner was able to capture footage of the protest. Rams dressed in red marched from the Moby Arena through the homecoming festivities and to the Laurie Student Center in a display of protest to the school's current system for approaching climate change. As they marched, the climate crisis activists called for CSU to unionize and create climate justice. ASCSU President Christian Dixon spoke on the Oval about implementing a $10,000 grant towards sustainability in the school. There has been no response from President McConnell or the administration in regards to the march.
Fort Collins police warn that a new dangerous trend has made its way to neighborhood parks. The police department warned the Fort Collins community on October 6th that teenage fight clubs had begun appearing in public parks. After responding to the reports of the groups, police report that the incidents involved teenagers intentionally physically fighting while other participants watch. In response to the clubs, police have increased surveillance in city parks and neighboring areas. Students can anonymously report any information through Safe to Tell, and residents who witness any related activity can contact the department non-emergency line at 970-419-3273.
Residents living near Adora Park woke up to an unfortunate surprise Friday morning. Nearly 10,000 gallons of sewage was pouring into the park's pond Spring Creek. The leak came from a CNL Water Solutions bypass hose, which came loose from a manhole and began draining wastewater. CNL has been working on updating the sewer lines under the park, but now are collaborating with the city in a cleanup effort. They urge people to steer clear of the creek until further notice.
Nearly 200 Southwest flights have been canceled since Sunday at Denver International Airport and over 1,000 nationwide. Many people have been affected by the delays, including CSU families who are traveling for the homecoming weekend celebrations. Southwest put out a statement saying the delays came from, quote, air traffic control issues and disruptive weather, unquote. There is speculation the delays arose from employee protests, but this has not been confirmed.
Those who rely on the MAX buses to get around town should expect an increase in their commute time. With the ongoing shortage of bus drivers, transport will now be reducing the frequency of the MAX line. Instead of coming every 10 minutes, the buses will now arrive every 20. The new schedule will go into effect on October 25th. This isn't the first repercussion transport has seen due to their lack of employees. In September, 2 other routes were suspended, and there has been no service on Sundays for the MAX since back in October. However, after receiving feedback from riders, Transport decided to just decrease the runtime of the MAX line rather than canceling routes entirely. Transport is still actively trying to recruit drivers, and current bus times can be found at ridetransport.com/routes/max.
Fort Collins parks are facing a funding gap that has been growing for close to 20 years. They are now experiencing what is called deferred maintenance, which means the long-term upkeep of the facilities has not been met and requires immediate action before it is too late.
The original $600,000 allotted for asset management back in 1993 is not enough to maintain the parks anymore. An estimated $6 to $9 million a year is what park officials say they need. Due to the shortage, there are repairs that need to be done in the nearly 50 parks in town, which is impacting the safety of some of the public spaces.
There has been some safety hazards, and we've had to close things.
The parks aren't the only things being worn down. Employees are also feeling the effects of the shortage with having to patch up what they can until funding increases.
And I know how hard it can be sometimes when you want to fix something and make it look right, and you just don't have the resource.
One of the most sought-after repairs is for the Roland Moore tennis courts, which have been consistently riddled with cracks. They are a popular spot to play at, but no long-term plan is in place to care for them.
I don't know if it's a crime, but it should be. I mean, really.
Besides funding, one of the goals of park officials is equitable access. They want residents to all have the same level of service and recognize there are design disparities between parks such as Twin Silos and Lee Martinez.
Big part of the town, the culture of the town, so having parks that you can get to quick access is important.
Park employees are working hard to secure the funding, and for many, it's their main objective.
I want to be able to sleep well at night, that I know that this system is being taken care of.
There has been a master plan submitted to the City Council with ways to aid funding, such as a sales tax or donations.
Park officials are optimistic they can bridge the monetary gap and hope by next November to have a concrete plan in place to preserve the parks for the community.
Well, if you do want to go spend some time at the parks this weekend, hopefully we'll have some good weather to enjoy. What do you think, Kenny?
Well, thank you, Ren. I think your hopes for good weather, they're a little misplaced. It's going to be cold and rainy this week. But Rams, be sure to stay tuned until after the break, because after the break, I will be telling you which days will be rainy.
An award centered around recognizing members of the Fort Collins community and their charitable acts and organizations is now accepting nominations. The Human Relations Award is a yearly celebration put on by the City of Fort Collins Human Relations Commission, or HRC. The honor has 4 categories for organizations, public service, individuals, and a youth award for nominations 13 and younger. Anyone who has not been previously chosen can participate. The HRC focuses on applicants who have made a significant impact on the Fort Collins community to advance diversity and inclusivity of marginalized communities. Nominations for individuals or organizations can be submitted to fcgov.com/HRC or by calling 970-416-4254.
An ecologist at Colorado State University has been chosen to be a part of a nationwide study to innovate the way we grow crops. Researchers at Colorado State University are teaming up with universities across the country as a part of a $10 million study into land and energy saving crop growth.
Overall, the entire project is looking at how agrovoltaics, which is agriculture underneath voltaics, which is your solar panels. So if agriculture is sustainable under solar panels, what kind of microenvironment is under these solar panels, and if that's conducive to plant growth and how that changes.
The research is headed by CSU professor Dr. Alan Knapp and is funded by the United States Department of Agriculture's National Institute of Food and Agricultural Research.
What we do is we quantify the amount of light that gets underneath solar panels, which would actually surprise you because you actually get a lot of light that gets in at a different angle, maybe not directly at solar noon, but you get a lot of light underneath solar panels.
The productivity of the photovoltaic solar panels will be recorded based on things like the light, moisture, and temperature of the crops underneath the solar farm. Through these arrays, agricultural productivity can increase while also offering an economic incentive to landowners to build the solar panels.
Photovoltaics are very important because when you think about renewable energy, it's going to be great to move away from fossil fuels, but also in a way that is sustainable and not taking up just dry desert lands.
Researchers at Colorado State University continue to innovate new ways towards a greener, more sustainable campus and world. While this solar method is quickly becoming popular due to its dual land use, others may be concerned that this change causes a negative crop yield. As a result, some countries have prohibited these photovoltaic arrays from replacing agricultural land. In response to this, Knapp's team planned to find conclusive proof over their 4-year study into the benefits of this form of solar and crop production.
The unveiling ceremony of the Hand That Feeds statue happened Saturday afternoon in Sugar Beet Park. The statue was created by Frank Garza and is a monument of remembrance for Mexican and Hispanic beet field workers. Sugar beets were once an essential part of Colorado's economy, and by 1920, the industry was the largest employer of Hispanic people in the state, though many feel the workers' contributions are underrepresented in history and wanted to build something in the community to show their appreciation. The bronze statue features a hand that represents the workers, and a short hoe tool depicts the tedious work they did. The monument also includes stairs engraved with the names of the laborers. The sculpture cost around $300,000 and was heavily funded by donations. The finished product was done just in time for Hispanic Heritage Month, which falls between September and October 15th.
If you were awake at 4:30 the morning of October 3rd, you may have seen the sky in Colorado was lit up by something other than the moon for a few seconds. Home security cameras in Colorado caught the fireball lighting up the sky, and residents of Colorado, Wyoming, and New Mexico reported over 50 sightings of the ball of light to the American Meteor Society. The AMS responded that this was a meteor that was approximately 100 times brighter than the moon. Experts with the Meteor Society believe that the instance was extremely rare due to how bright the fireball was, how close to the Earth it was before it burned up, and its geographical location. Meteors and fireballs occur several times a year, however, more often than not they occur over the ocean or during the day when they can't be seen. If you miss the fireball, it won't be the only asteroid visible in the sky, and you can view the Orionids Meteor Shower on October 20th and 21st right here in Fort Collins. Now, I haven't had the pleasure of actually being able to see a meteor shower in real life. How about you, Natalie?
I actually have. Back in California in the mountains, I've seen a few, and I can say they're definitely beautiful.
Yeah, I'm sure they are, and it's so cool that we're getting to see one right here in Fort Collins in a couple weeks. But
Definitely.
yeah, well, Rams, that is all the news we have for you today.
But don't go anywhere yet. Brandon Cruz is up next to tell you all about CSU's impressive weekend of athletics. Stay tuned after the break.